Neoh Yong exposed. I know it's been a while since I've made an exposed trader video, but I felt like I had to make this video because I've been waiting too long to release this information and my analysis on this guy. I know this guy, if you guys haven't known, this guy on YouTube, this trader, essentially he was exposed a while back for basically doing some sus HTML, JavaScript such stuff, editing on his IC Markets login, which was basically faking his account details and informations. And I'm basically just here to expose something else aside from that. You can search up all the other videos that go over exposing his account details in terms of like him with the crosshair and such. But I'm going over another detail that a lot of people probably overlooked, and that is this post right here. How he posted it on his YouTube community post. This was not 6 hours ago. This, I took a screenshot from, I think 3 months ago. I can't remember entirely when, but I've been waiting a bit to make this video because I've been, following him for a little bit to see what's up with him. And this just did not make sense to me. We'll first go over a few things. This guy, number one, his training system is typically taking trades on the 5-minute or 15-minute or higher. I don't see this guy taking entries off the 1 minute. So when I see something like this, he said this is the 825K month. Okay, so in a month you have 20 active trading days. The math here just does not add up. In a month you have 20 active trading days, right? So if you guys don't know, this is MetaTrader. The numbers on the bottom are the number of trades total, cumulative number of trades. The numbers here on the right is his final balance. Okay, and of course it says balance right there if you guys haven't noticed. But essentially 20 active trading days, and this guy's trading on the 5-minute or 15-minute or higher for entries. Now, unless you're trading every single hour of the day, which I'm gonna say is near impossible because you have to sleep at least 8 hours, right, or at least 6 hours. No one's gonna be trading the whole day, especially as a trader, even full time. I'm not gonna be up and trading and having no sleep at all. Of course, I'm gonna have breaks and sleep in between. And he took 150, based on the screenshot, what we've seen so far is about 151 trades. Let's do some math here, guys, real quick. This is not even the sus part. This is about 7 trades a day. This is a lot. If you guys know, especially if you trade on 5-minute, because I used to trade on the 5-minute, and sure, my old system or strategy on the 5-minute is not going to be the same as his system, maybe on the 5-minute or 15-minute. But I just know 7 trades a day on a 5-minute is equivalent. This is basically equivalent proportionally to me taking 35 trades in a day because I trade off the 1 minute. We're just using this as a rough conversion, okay? It's not going to be entirely precise. Rough conversion of 35 trades a single day. Now, for context, as of right now, I take about, I'd say, 5 trades in a session. So if I'm taking 5 trades in a session, guys, let's say I trade all 3 sessions, that's 15 trades max a day. If I'm trading all 3 sessions, all 3, and he's obviously he's not trading all 3 sessions. But let's say he was. That's 15 max. That's not even half of what the frequency he's trading on, and somehow he's trading this on the strategy on the higher time frame, because on his videos he shows 5-minute at least. He doesn't really show 1 minute. It's always like 5-minute, 15-minute or higher time frames. So maybe he might be even entering on the 15-minute, which makes it even worse. So that's the number one red flag. Trade frequency does not match his strategy at all. And let's say you say maybe his strategy is he's not teaching any of it on YouTube. Well, it doesn't make sense. He's sharing trades and charts on his YouTube. Why would you share something that's completely unrelated to your strategy? It doesn't make any sense. He's doing like trade recaps and such, and so obviously that's his setup, or is he trading? So this is a number one red flag here. And again, you can overlook this a little bit if you really want to. Number 2, can I make this? I can't extend this. I can right here. So if you look at the equity curve here in the beginning, so typically for an equity curve, for trading equity curve, you kind of want something that is, it's not going to be crazy exponential like that unless you're compounding an account. Then yes, sure, it'll be exponential, but you kind of want something that's at least like somewhat close to a 45-degree angle, right? That's a solid, or that's a really good equity curve, somewhere around that. Even if you're not compounding, that's a good equity curve, right? If you look at the first we'll go 50. First 50 trades here, there was no growth in its account. That is extremely suspicious. Even if, let's say, it was just a drawdown period, maybe it was just bad price action. 50 trades is a lot of sample size, regardless of what time frame you're on, because the number of trades has no correlation or relationship to the number or the time frame you're on in terms of like win rate, risk reward, expected value. So how's his equity or balance basically the same after 50 trades? So that's very suspicious, right? So to me, this does not look like a good equity curve if it's staying constant like this for 50 trades. What I'm guessing here is if this is a real account. So in MetaTrader, if you guys don't know, there is a software you can download to literally fake and control everything within the platform. It's like a fake MetaTrader, but the thing is you get access to everything MetaTrader has, like open trades, working orders, all this data here. So let's give him the benefit of the doubt though. Let's say this is not faked. You could also assume this was when he wasn't making much money off courses, mentorship, or his 1% Traders Club that he calls it. So maybe that's why nothing was growing here. Maybe he was putting money in here, but nothing was growing until a lot more people started joining. His channel started getting more traction, and boom, that's when this spikes. That's a second potential probable doubt or hypothesis. His channel started growing, viewers started growing, more members joined, more members paid. Hence, he's able to actually put in real money, more real money into the account. And I'm not shocked at all by 300 him if he did have 300. What is this? 314K like of real money to put in off subscriptions. So I got a screenshot from very most recent video, May 7th. Here's the link. Is 424 traders in the 1% Traders Club, and I think I tried joining last time, and last time I joined it was about $100 a month. So if you do the math here, I mean it's pretty straightforward. You make about 42K off just purely subscriptions to the Telegram community. So if he was doing 42K, let's say, he used to probably do more numbers, or he might have done less numbers since his prime, because he got exposed later and people probably left or stopped paying or joining. But it would not take too long for him to rack up about, what was this, 200 300 ish, right? So if you do math here, so it'll take only about 7 months for him to accumulate 314K. Okay, if this was a real account, give me the benefit of doubt that this is a real account, real brokerage. IC Markets is real, but what's funny is IC Markets is not regulated in his country, Malaysia, which I'm confused. Why would you trade? Why would you put so much money into a broker that's unregulated in your country? You're not being protected by FDIC or whatever federal commission there is, or a group that gives you insurance on your money. So that is another red flag. IC Markets is not regulated in his country. Why put so much money into it? Doesn't make logical sense in the first place. It doesn't make any logical sense. I trade on Tradeovate. Guys, I trade on Tradeovate on my personal, and you can look it up. Tradeovate is regulated in the US. I only put money into a regulated broker. I don't trade unregulated brokers, guys, because that's just dumb. In my opinion, that's just foolish. And I'm sure if someone's making this much money, there's no way they're gonna be that foolish, right? You'd hope they wouldn't be. I mean, I better hope you don't pay to learn from someone that's dumb. They put money into something as straightforward as unregulated versus regulated. But anyway, assuming this is a real count, you could say over 7 months, he did rack up 314K. However, keep in mind, this is month. So this is 1 month. So no, this, in fact, his theory would at some point be considered false because he said this is a month, right? And who knows if this is a month or not. Let's see, do we have the data here? No, we don't. We only have 124. We don't have the start date of the trades, which is okay. But yeah, who knows if this is a month? This could be like a year. No one would really know here. I don't think you can judge off any data here. So you can't judge off that. But let's just say this is if it's a real count. If it's a fake count, then none of this analysis here matters. So that's number one, right? Now, next thing we want to look at that's very suspicious to me is, first off, this is a real strategy. Like I said, this is not a good equity curve. It's not a good strategy. You have 50 trades is a lot of trades. After 50 trades, in my system at least, I'd be up or down a lot, right? If it's a bad trading system, you'd be down a lot. If it's a good system, you'd be up a lot. It's extremely hard really to keep a system at break even for 50 trades, unless the strategy is break even. But sure, let's just say this was a drawdown period. Sure, why not? This is the sus part, guys. Look. He says dips on the equity curve is due to internal transfers or withdrawal/deposits. Okay, so a dip I see is here. There's a dip here. But look at these dips. This dip is not as sharp as these dips here. But let's just say maybe he only just withdrew a little bit of money. Sure. Okay, I believe that. You can believe that, right? I hope this isn't his equity curve going down like 80% here, right? In that case, that's awful. That's an awful strategy. Awful risk management. But sure, let's give him the benefit of doubt that this was just withdrawals. How come every time he withdrew money, literally, this is probably 114 to 120. This is 6 trades here, 6 trades here. So if we take the average here, let's just say 6 trades between this withdrawal to the next equity curve high or low. How come as soon as he withdraws money out of his account, it goes down? Makes sense. You withdrew your money out of the account, balance, right? How does he make all that money back immediately? How? In 6 trades or less. Giving him the benefit of doubt. This looks like 1 or 2 trades potentially, if it's drawn to scale. But 6 trades, how do you make from 80K, if I'm reading that correctly, to 300K? That's not even possible, even if you full port in 6 trades or less, or even 1 trade. This makes no sense. Even here, same thing occurs. You withdrew money, but how did the equity curve go back so fast? How? The only other logical sense to this is you deposited the money you withdrew, like the next day, basically, because this is 1 month here, right? If we did a math here, if you want to break this down even further, since he's taking 7 trades a day on average, this period, let's say it was 7 days, this would be 1 day. So the next day he grows his account back to where it was originally after the withdrawal by trading. That is impossible. So impossible is literally impossible to grow your account balance immediately back to highs in 1 day, or give me a benefit out 6 trades. Dips and pumps cannot be explained at all unless he withdrew and then immediately deposited. But again, this doesn't make logical sense. Still doesn't make logical sense. Why do this? Oh, I also forgot to mention, guys, he's not just making money from his group that's bringing 42K a month. He's making money from IC Markets referrals. These could be referral affiliate link withdrawals too, which is, I mean, that's a lot for just referrals or affiliates, but maybe it's possible. I don't know his connection with IC Markets. Maybe it's possible. Even then, why would you withdraw and then immediately deposit back like within the next day or within a day? Like, these are equal highs. If you trade, these are equal highs. Not trying to bring trading into this, but this is literally like equal highs. Your account balance goes straight back to the exact same amount, like immediately. You're obviously not trading this to the exact same account balance every time you withdraw. That's literally impossible. The odds of that is probably lower than anyone making it to the NBA at age 80. An 80-year-old making the NBA has a higher chance than the odds of this happening. You making back this to exact same balance basically within a day with a much less buying power and leverage doesn't make any sense. And also doesn't make any sense. Why would you withdraw and then deposit again? What's the point of that then? So that makes me wonder, does this have anything to do with affiliates withdrawing and then depositing? Maybe he has some connection where he can control this. Therefore, he's literally making equal highs in the controller behind the scenes of the MetaTrader program. Because in the MetaTrader program, I'm certain you're able to control everything. I assume you can control like all this. Maybe it automates certain things, like price probably automates, but nonetheless, it doesn't make any sense. Like what happened here? Withdrawal, deposit, withdrawal, deposit, half, and then we have a somewhat normal equity curve here now. But this equity curve is illogical. I mean, like, what is this? So from trade 130 to 150, guys, we're breaking this down. Like, I trade full time, so I know what like a actual real equity curve looks like. This is not a real equity curve, even with this deposit and withdrawals. It doesn't make sense. If you're trading the strategy here, how do you have a break-even period of 50 trades? And then not only that, but all of a sudden you have a period of only 20 trades only, and you grew your account from, that looks like, oh, dude, I can't even tell how much that is. Let's say that's like 40K. Let's give him, that's half of 86K. So let's say 40K to, how much should he grow to? To 420, I can't read that entirely. 428K? This is like 10 times accounts at this size in only 20 trades? And if we were to break down the number of days, if we're taking 7 trades a day on average, which he is, hold up. Yeah, so if he's taking 7 trades a day on average, trades per day average, this is about 3 days. 10 times account in 20 trades or 3 days. This makes no sense to me whatsoever. So let's say you countered the argument. You could argue this is not withdrawals and deposits. Let's say he truly grew his account that quickly, 6 days each time, or 6 trades. I'm gonna honestly say that's impossible to grow your account this quickly, immediately right after withdrawal. So I'm gonna say this has to do with something else that I am not aware of, like what is going on with the equity curve here. But even then, let's say this has, it's, I can't explain what this is. Like, there's no other logical reasoning. I mean, guess he's withdrawing, depositing again. Let's see withdrawal and deposits half here. That's what it looks like. You get a steep curve here. And then we get a normal equity curve here. But how come, even then, with normal equity curve, this is impossible? He 10 times his account in only 3 days? What? 10 times your account in 3 days. Or 20 trades. But then you would break even for like 50 trades here. The variance of this trading system must suck. If you're truly to tell me this is a true trading system, the variance of his system sucks. The standard deviation is extremely off and way too high. This is way too high. This is very different. 50 trades and break even, but then 20 trades and then 10 times the count. This just seems like gambling. 100% gambling, full porting, things like that. The only way you can even 10 times the count in 20 trades, maybe full porting, but even then you almost have to, I mean, you don't have to win every trade, but still the odds are just so low. So he either got extremely lucky, and then here, or he has an awful trading system. And this is just pure luck here. But even then, pure luck does not explain 50 trades of break even and then 20 trades all of a sudden you 10 times your account. Sorry, I did not mean 10 times here, because if you do here, let's just assume this here was, let's assume he, I guess, deposited half here. So from here, it'd be 25K to 50K. So, okay, 2 times. Maybe only 2 times the count in 20 trades or 3 days. Doubling your account in 3 days requires extremely high risk, guys. Like, extremely high risk. Let's say he was, in order to double your account in 3 days, you have to make at least 0.6 times return per day. And if you were to do 0.6 times return per day, let's say you're making 6 R a day, you'd have to risk 10% per trade, because this makes 60% return. So you'd be risking 10% of his whole entire account per trade on a personal? That just sounds like straight gambling to me, and not a real trader also that does this full time. No full-time trader risks 10% of his true personal account. Sometimes I don't want to risk 1%. 0.5%. 10% is absurd. Like, what is this? A casino? Like, what? And then all of a sudden, how are you risking 10% but maintaining equilibrium in your P&L here? That's impossible. Based on the 10% and factoring this into standard deviation and variance, it's impossible to have a system that has little to no variance in your equity curve balance after 50 trades of such sample size with 10% risk per trade. So then you go into loophole of maybe he only risked like 0.5% here while trading, and it was just break even, and then he started risking 10% all of a sudden here. Again, it still doesn't make sense. What is this line here? This has to be him growing the account or trading. There's no way this is like withdrawals or deposits. Is he depositing a little every single day here? Like, what is going on here? This really makes no sense. Like, overall, just either he has a trash system, he's gambling, or, you know what the most logical answer to this is? This is not real. That is the 99% most logical answer to this. Unrealistic returns does not match standard deviation or variance whatsoever in terms of consistency. There's no logical reasoning for this at all, guys. Any real trader that looks at this P&L curve can tell this straight off the bat. Like, what is this? So let me delete this. We're not in geometry class here. hopefully you guys just enjoyed this exposed video. Let me know what you guys think about this honestly equity curve and screenshot. If there's something I did miss, please let me know. And let me know what you think about Neoh and Yong. But I just think this is illogical and this is not real at all. And this is completely fake because none of this is explainable. This makes no sense here to me at all. So again, just off this, I don't need to see any other evidence or proof or even counter proof. Like this is in itself is enough evidence. Let me know and I'll see y'all in the near future.